So the city of Charlottesville had denied a permit request for the anniversary, but now we're 4 days away from a so-called white civil rights rally right here in the nation's capital.
So organizers say they are fighting for their right to speak their minds, even if people find it offensive. Our Michael Quander is here in the studio. So, Michael, some people are planning to show that they disagree this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Counter-protesters plan to be seen all weekend long here in the district. They say what these alt-right groups are doing is not free speech, but hate speech. And there are 5 things you need to know about what they have planned. Here's the first thing you need to know. There are 2 separate organized counter-protests happening this weekend. The first is organized by a coalition of activist groups. It's called Shut It Down, and it'll be at the Freedom Plaza starting at noon on Sunday. Black Lives Matter DC organized the second counter-protest. It's called Rise Up, Fight Back. It'll begin at 16th and I Streets at 2 Sunday afternoon.
There are groups and organizations that have appropriated our culture of protest and have appropriated the things that we've done and tried to discredit it when black people do it. It's important that we are there to advocate and protect our folks.
Next, there are events happening all weekend long. On Friday, there's an action camp for protesters to learn how to de-escalate conflict and to get self-defense training. On Saturday, Black Lives Matter planned a community walk in Southeast to show they have a presence east of the river, too. And here's the third thing. What's going down the day of the protest? Well, both groups of counter-protesters will rally at their locations and march over to Lafayette Square, where the so-called white civil rights rally will be. So that brings us to the fourth point, safety. Counter-protest organizers say there'll be a clear division between the end of the rallies and the start of the marches. Protesters are warned to leave young children behind and to be prepared for potentially risky and confrontational situations.
So for us, we have de-escalators, legal observers, we have marshals, people who will be protecting the black contingent.
Lastly is the why. Despite the violence that erupted last year, why are these groups having a counter-protest in the first place?
It's important that when we get pushed with oppression, that we don't cower, right? That we actually take a stand and let the system know that we do not consent.
Yeah, and of course, you can find all that information on WUSA9.com. And look, we reached out to Jason Kessler. He's the organizer of the Unite the Right rally. He says he respects these groups' right to demonstrate, and he hopes they respect his too, so that everyone can safely express themselves. And I got to tell you, though, counter-protesters say they do not want his group here to come at all. Michael Quander, WUSA9.
Thanks, Michael. So the white nationalist group known as Unite the Right is behind the main event.
And this is the same outfit that organized last year's deadly rally 1 year ago in Charlottesville. So here's what these alt-right activists are planning to do. Beginning at 5 p.m. Sunday, they plan on parading from the Foggy Bottom Metro Station to Lafayette Square. Then at 5:30, the white nationalists plan on holding a demonstration at Lafayette Square through 7:30.
After the violence that erupted in Charlottesville last year, expect to see a significant police presence throughout the parade route and at Lafayette Square. Now, on the group's website, marchers are being encouraged to bring American or Confederate flags and leave their weapons at home.